All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube with another one of our RUPL player spotlights. I am the Sky12321 or Ming549 on the forums, and today I'm joined by Feen from the Toxic Chains. Feen, if you want to do a little bit of an introduction for yourself.
Hi, I'm Feen. I'm the RU tier leader, and I played in the Toxic Chains, who are unfortunately out, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, Feen, you yourself kind of had a quite strong season, right? You ended what, 4-2, I think overall.
Let's call it 4-1.
Okay, okay. 4-1 overall, and four of those wins actually came in a row, right? Like you started off the season with four consecutive
Not
wins.
necessarily. Three of them came in a row. Well, no, two of them came in a row. Then I was subbed out in week three because I did not want to play Flamingo Pokemon. Uh, and we were already out, so I didn't even care. Week four I played. Week five I lost, and then week six I won. So
Okay, cool. All right. So let's just kind of hop right into, yeah, let's hop right into it. So kind of just let me know, like, kind of some of your general thoughts on RUPL as a whole. At this point, the season has kind of concluded, playoffs have started, and you kind of already mentioned that your team hasn't didn't make that cut. But just overall, what was your kind of experience with the tournament? Yeah.
I mean, RUPL is always a spectacle in the community. So like you have the forum specific players, like specifically people who quote unquote main RU, and you have upcoming players as well. Some of them did get drafted, for example, Chungler and you as well. Uh, and then you have the tournament players. The the playing level increases quite a lot in RUPL, and it kind of forces like the metagame development as well. So, which is quite fun to like spectate as well as play in.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of mentioned that metagame progression. So is there anything what have you seen in terms of the metagame progressing that you think is, something particularly interesting, maybe just trends that have picked up during our UPL?
Well, the first thing is I think prior to RUPL starting, people were more high on Reuniclus over Slowbro. And as REPL progressed over the weeks, people realized, wait, Slowbro is actually much more splashable and abusable. Like it's I mean, right now in the tier, it's actually better than Reuniclus, in my opinion. Uh, Another mon that got quite a rise is Okidogi as well. Like you have these mons that were kind of like even during seasonals, which was the last major tour, you had more. You did have Slowbro, but Okidogi was not really in the rise. You've seen Okidogi, but most of them were like what, like bulk up sets, and they just get shut down by Moltres. Whereas choice sets like Scarf specifically is really on the rise. So like these things get developed because players try to outsmart each other because again it's a best of one. So you kind of have to bring something that's not really that standard because if it's standard, then they know what you're gonna use, right? Another mon is Armor Rouge as well, although that depends on like the recent bans technically. Yeah. So and as usual, Thunderous Therian, which got banned.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's bring it back a little bit more to kind of just RUPL specifically. So your team, can you kind of give us a little bit of insight into like kind of the team culture behind the Toxic Chains? What is it like kind of in the Chains chat and just like being a part of that group of people every day?
So I mean, the team chat was okay. I liked the so since I did not play in SSRU, I didn't really give much input into that, but I seen Mace yap a lot in that chat. So even though his record was abysmal, he gave in a lot of effort, which I always appreciate. Uh, Ico as well, when he's not busy, he's very, very helpful. Um, Devin, he knew what to ask and he got the wins. So that's pretty much everything you expect from a player. Uh, And like the person which I enjoyed the most in the chat is Trash actually, because this guy was just cooking. Like as always, Golark. We had this other hyper offense team that we didn't use because I was planning to use it in week three. Uh, and he just tagged me like a while ago saying, "Oh my God, we didn't use that HO." I'm like, I know, right? But we can't use it anymore because it had iron leaves, so you gotta change up the structure. But anyways, so and him laddering as well and linking games against certain forum users who shall remain nameless was quite funny because they didn't know it was trash.
That's just randomly playing stretch on ladder linking those games. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
and
Yeah.
they raged a lot. So
That's hilarious. Okay. So would you, as kind of an offshoot of that last question, kind of who would you say contributed most to like the kind of the team culture in the chat? Would you say it's Stretch? Like just in terms of being a general like kind of notable chat presence, funny, someone who kind of raises morale for the team.
okay, so raising morale for the team, I don't think there's anyone like that, which is kind of depressing. But I mean, I did my best. I did try yapping and stuff. Stretch is doing his stuff in his channel, which is always a delight to see. And there's some text that he used in his games, like for example, Scarf Terra Psychic Gallade that you saw in last week or week
Yeah.
six. Yeah, like you don't expect those stuff. That's always Golurk again. So he has been cooking stuff. So that was always fun to see. I tried. My philosophy regarding games is like I just build something and I'm like, yo, I built this, and then sometimes I'm like, yo, I cooked this. I think in our SV building ideas, I had a block toxic Galarian Slowbro set, which was with skill swap to trap and beat Ridiculous, which is hilarious. And then I realized it can just calm mind and kill me. But anyways,
Nah, it
so
happens.
I posted that for the memes, and I was like, okay, but like you do realize X, Y, Z, and I'm like, bro, I'm just kidding. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, actually, if you want to kind of elaborate a little more on that, so the whole kind of like team building idea process, is there anyone who you would say personally was like a big influence in terms of helping you prep, or was that kind of like a team effort coming from everybody?
It was more of a team effort, yes. Sometimes, like, for example, when I built for Ziri, uh, when I post a team, Evie looks at it, or Stretch looks at it, or IFO, and then they give input. Even rarely me as well. So it was more of a team effort rather than an individual one. Again, it depends from players to players. For example, for my prep, usually I build something and then I post in my team chat saying, "Does this look good? Anything that's glaring weakness?" And if they say no, then I just test it out and then I just see how it feels. Sometimes I build like dog shit teams and they don't make the cut, which makes sense. I tried using a toxic spikes uh, Gengar set, which I didn't like the structure of the team. Maybe I should look back on it. Anyways, yeah. So
Yeah, cool. You'd love to hear it. In that case, let's kind of hone in a little bit more on that. So like just kind of personal highlights for you overall through kind of the 7 weeks we had of our UPL, the 6 weeks you actually played. Would you say there is a game in your mind that stands out as like, yeah, this is the highlight game of the season? I really like kind of how I handled this game and just like how it turned out.
so I feel like the hardest to prep for is week one because you don't really know what your opponent's going to bring. And week one is always the most uncomfortable I am regarding a team tournament. So for week one, I got floss, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay." um, but yeah, I won that game. But I can go into my team building process as well during that and prior to that, and also go over the game if needed.
Yeah, sure,
But
absolutely, go for it.
yeah,
Walk me through kind of like that team building process. So that week
yeah,
one game, right?
yeah, but in general, my like the way I do team tours is like The first 2 weeks, I usually bring something I'm comfortable with like a slight, caveat, like some weird, less used mon that can actually break stuff. Like that's not really expected. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Uh, and then as the weeks progress, I usually do like a self scout and try to counter team.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players do this. So I don't think I'm really revealing any new strategies per se. Uh,
Yeah. I
so
mean, for sure.
regarding week, yeah, so regarding week one, I played Floss and I was quite unsure on what to bring. So prior to that, I was like, building some teams, and I built one team with Torterra, which is kind of funny, uh, uh, and a balance with Blastoise as well. But I didn't like them as much as the team I used, which is a Palosan team with Victory Dance Lilligant. And so I wanted to build it on Lilligant, but I specifically put it on the last slot just to bluff the Scarf because I knew Beraldo brought Scarf Lilligant. So yeah, that was the thought process behind my team.
All right, cool. In that case, let's kind of hop into that replay then. So
Yeah.
Feen versus Floss, week one.
You might want to turn
See
off
the
sounds.
right sounds are off. Um,
Oh, okay, yeah.
so you see kind of the team in front of you, right? Obviously the
Yeah,
six
I
that you
saw that
got,
team.
and
I saw the Torterra, and I'm like, oh shit.
yeah. So actually, just walk us through it. So on team preview, what are kind of some of the thoughts going through your mind? How are you handling this matchup? Like, what are your win cons? What are his win cons? And how are you just like negotiating this game in your mind?
So my thought process was, okay, Lilligant can win if I Terra with it. Problem is, now I'll know later that Floss's Okidogi was Scarf. Before then, Scarf Okidogi was super rare. It was more of a UU thing, not an RU thing. So I was like, okay, that's bulk up Okidogi. That is Scarf Basculesian. So I think the best lead would be Cyclizar. So that's why I led with Cyclizar, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah, let's hop right into it. And then you can kind of just, I'll have this going on
Yep.
fast in the background. You kind of
And
just
yeah,
talk
this
us through.
this this is the turn where it could have all went wrong because if he close combated, um, so here he goes Basque Legion, clicks Ice Beam, which I kind of expected he would because he was trying to predict my Cyclizar, and then he freezes my Cyclizar, which sucks.
Oh, and
Obviously,
he
then he'll
sub
use it to
Basket
be a
Legion
sub.
too. Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no, I just lose here. So I had no choice. Like the only way to do it is to Terra with Slowbro, which really sucks. But I had to do that. So already I realized, oh no, I probably lose this game because I'm in the back foot. And
I
then
mean,
he brings the Rachi set and does usual Rachi things. Nothing new here. Do I manage to kill this Cyclizar? Did I hit my focus blast? Oh yes, I did. So Scarf Dogi is very scary, and I see the Moltres, and I'm like, oh no, I probably lose this because Moltres is just very good right now. My Thunderous lost its boots, so the only check is Slowbro, but he can just U-turn to Rachi every time. And since I Thunder Wave the Rachi, I can't Skull Burn it. So this is a very tricky game for me. Um, I'm not sure how much Palossand is in, but it's quite low if I remember correctly.
yeah, Palestinians
Yeah,
at
it's at
28%.
28%. Yeah. So like I can't really hard switch into Rachi as well because he can
Right.
just Iron Head me twice.
Important to note too that
So
Thunderous at this point is at 43% and has lost boots. So coming into
yeah, and
rocks.
I lost Cyclizar, so I can't even get rid of the hazards. And then he obviously gets the body slam paralysis. So now you're just gonna see a fun game. But here I notice, what is he doing with his Moltres? Why isn't he clicking his fire move? And then I realized, wait a second, he doesn't have fire move, which is unheard of, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I mean, you
also
hear
on, yeah, go on.
you hear a lot of times with Moltres. Sometimes you drop like maybe Brave Bird, you drop U-turn to have your fire move Will O Wisp combo, but it's kind of rare you see Moltres that does not have fire move. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Also on like turn 26, he switched his Torterra in, and I'm like, oh no, I was just running my mind with the calcs, and I know that Lilligant lives +2 attack from Torterra. So I was like, okay, if he's not Terrifier, I can like take a hit and kill back. So I was always hard Lilliganting, and he's thinking, oh, that's a Scarf Lilligant. He's trying to revenge kill me. I mean, that's what I think he was thinking. So yeah, and now this is just a lot of PP stalling here, which is kind of boring. But yeah, my game plan got out of the window because again, I was forced to Terra with Slowbro because Cyclizar was frozen, and therefore I cannot win with Lilligant because I can't Terra Rock and beat the Moltres. So I'm just like, this is gonna be a long battle. And
I
here I
mean,
got lucky. I got really lucky over here. So
yeah,
I
turn
think there was
40. I
another
mean,
turn where I got super lucky as well.
yeah, Palestine coming in,
So
getting the wish pass is huge.
yeah, that was a huge. And I was like, yeah, I have to go for it because I didn't have a choice there. And now I don't know why he went Rachi because like, okay, he just wanted to do that. Okay, cool. I don't see the point, but anyways, my Palossand is not paralyzed, is it? No, it's
No,
not.
you're
He can't
Palestine.
paralyze me. Yeah. Here again, he smashes, and he doesn't know what item I am, and I also wish pass myself. This was a very risky close combat, but I had to do it. If I got burned there, I think that was game. Then again, I could have ice spinner, but yeah, he wouldn't. He would probably Terra there. So again, Rachi Moltres gameplay, just very interesting and fun gameplay. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this opens up a great kind of avenue to kind of just talk about Jirachi as a whole. So, I mean, Jirachi is we've had it for like a couple months now. It came down with the April drops. What do you think
Yes.
about Jirachi in the meta as a whole? Like, do you think
I
it's
think it's
healthy? Do you
fine,
think
honestly. I think it's
yeah,
fine. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about the game. If you
yeah,
remembered, my Rachi was outspeeding his Moltres. I was
yes,
running a slow Rachi here, so his Moltres is slower. So I did the math, and I knew that his Moltres, I think it did not outspeed Palossand. So I think so. If he's min speed, he doesn't outspeed. Is that true? Min speed Moltres hits like what one, so 218, something like that. A bit more.
yeah.
No, it probably still did, unless I had speed EVs. I don't remember. Anyways, I could probably pull up the team, but I can't be bothered. So
Yeah.
again, this is the standard Rachi BS, and obviously I'm not gonna let him. He makes a great play here, like an excellent play by going Dogi. And I'm happy that the protect worked and I didn't get full parrot, but now he just made another good play. So he's trying to outplay me, which is really good. And here we go, back to square one. But this time
You're
I
just
predicted he would
Moltres and
go
Jirachi.
Moltres. Yeah, that was like a really risky play for me, and it worked out. He goes back to Torterra, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again. And he clicks
And
Earthquake,
now
which does a
Lilligant
lot.
takes the chip too, right? Which is meaningful
Yeah,
because it's in
yeah,
range of
but now
another
I'm
first
wishing
error.
again. So here I had to double, right? Because I had to predict the Moltres. And he smashed, which didn't make sense. I think he Earthquake would have been good. I think that killed Lilligant. And I'm
Yeah.
clicking Terra Blast, which is pathetic. I was just trying to get some chip. Again, the same thing. I think he clicks knockoff here, which is a great play from him. Gets the helmet off, and I go back to Slowbro. If I remember, Terra Dark was specifically for Reuniclus. He
And then we
does not
see
get full parrot
Palestine
here.
go down. Yeah.
Yeah, losing Palosan really sucked, and I had to make this risky play, and it worked out for me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's huge. Turn 83, you
that
come
is
in with he
huge.
gets the wish pass.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was huge because, and also the crit helped. Uh, because like Body Slam did kill me. I think Iron Head also did, so that was like bad. But I got rid of Rachi, so I'm like, okay, this is a winning angle now. So I go back to Rachi because that's the only thing that takes a close combat, and then I click Body Slam, and I get a crit. I think that mattered, but I had better odds. He smashes here, and I just slam, because why not, right?
Yeah,
And now it's just Lilligant. I had to close combat there, and of course I get burned, I think, yes. And now it's just another n number of turns of PP stalling. But yeah, at this
yeah,
point I'm like, okay, I think I win this because I had psychic noise.
yeah, for
But
sure.
as
Your
long as
psychic
I'm
noise, you can
not
just
getting
stiff the
full,
recovery options. I
yeah,
mean,
as
full
long as
para
I don't get
into
full
the ground
parrot.
is always an option too. And you kind of do see that a lot of times with kind of even more recent RU games where there's a lot of paralysis and they can kind of boil down to who gets parried, just favorable turns versus unfavorable turns. Um,
I'm
but
lucky
yeah,
that this actually worked in my favor. Like every time this happens, whenever I want to get parrot, I don't get parrot, and whenever I don't want to get parrot, I get parrot. Uh, I played this Gen 8 OU game yesterday where I had a paralyzed heat ram, and I was PP stalling with a Clefable. And guess what? I was moving every turn. Like I moved like 12 turns in a row. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And my opponent's like the luckiest unlucky heat ram.
such as para,
Anyways,
such as para. Yeah,
yeah,
and we're
that's a
kind of
Sparrow. Kind of nearing the end. He's just gonna stall out and just hope for some full parrots.
yeah.
That's his
Right
only
now the
play.
Moltres two roosts left
I have four
versus
slack offs,
Slowbro's
which is
four
good.
slacks. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm doing more damage to him than he does to me, and
It's
he
also
can't risk.
important to note that the attacking move of choice is Brave Bird, which is doing damage to you too. Whereas, and here we see what happens if you like decide to U-turn. Torterra has to take the hit, and then Lilligan gets to come in, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Um. I mean, now I just know that I won because Torterra dies to rocks. Classic Lilligant moment. You can't have Lilligant
yeah, little
hitting
close
off
combat
moves.
miss, little parting gift, little close combat miss.
Yeah. I don't know why I switched back to slow, bro. That was a weird play from me. Could have just kept on CCing there.
And well,
Oh
to be
well,
fair, you
whatever.
we are like 120 turns in at this point. Um, I don't necessarily blame you for becoming a little bit impatient, but yeah, then Torterra
Yeah.
comes in, you see dies on rocks, and that's the game. And what a week one that
So
is, right? I mean,
yeah,
this is
I mean
literally
he yeah, sorry, go on.
the opener for RUPL. This is your first game in the tournament, and this is definitely one hell of a slog. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that was in my opinion the hardest game. I mean, against Umbri, it was more like I got cocky and I tried to make plays when I really didn't need to. I feel like the enamorous crocodile sequence, I could have prolonged it. So that was kind of on me, I would say. But this one, I was like, Floss is a phenomenal player. So this was a really hacksy game because he got my bike frozen, which meant I was forced to Terra with Slowbro, ruining my entire game plan. So I had to play uh, uh, like on the back pedal the entire time, which was very uncomfortable. But it worked out. I got some key turns right and some key paralysis, so that helped.
absolutely. Um, so yeah, so moving on kind of from that replay, and looking back on RUPL as a whole. So coming into the season, and now that the season has finished, kind of talk to us a little bit about the expectations, right? So what were you expecting to do coming into this RUPL, and now at the end, do you think you've accomplished that, or do you think you could have done something better, or over surpassed your expectations? How are you feeling about that?
So when I joined RUPL, I remembered my abysmal record of RUPL or RU Team Tours in general, and I'm just like, oh God, I need to improve that because I feel like prior to retirement, I was a different kind of player. Now I think differently. I play a bit differently. Well, no, more like very differently. Before I used to be like, making plays for the sake of making plays. That doesn't really help. Sometimes I do it now, but again, I tend to do it less often now. So I wanted to fix my record, and after like this season, yeah, I think 4-2 is a good record. It does improve my sheet score, quote unquote sheet score, which whatever that is, and it's kind of pointless, and I don't really care about it. But it looks nice. It looks nice to look at it and be
Yeah,
like, oh,
absolutely. I
you
mean,
have a
if
win
given
record.
the option of being positive or negative, I mean, you're always going to pick positive, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would want to be positive. I mean, I'm still not positive because I think I was 20 wins and 29 losses. So
Mm,
this is now 24 wins and 31 losses. So even then, it's closer. The gap is closing, and hopefully it'll work out. Uh, I don't know how long it'll take, but yeah,
yeah,
just on my solo quest to become positive.
absolutely. All right, and then kind of to wrap everything up, is there any kind of like closing comments that you want to give that maybe I didn't touch upon? Any shout outs you want to give? Kind of just whatever you want to say as we close the season here.
Well, shout outs to the chains. I mean, I enjoyed teaming up with them, like Evie, Stretch, Hypho, Mace, I guess. I'm just throwing shade at him for no reason. It's so funny. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed teaming with them, and I hope teaming with them in the future as well because they're good teammates and they're actually good, really good players. Some I look up to. Well, actually, I look up to all of them. Yeah. Okay.
All right, you love to hear it. Um, well, in that case, that is all the questions that I have for you. Uh, Thank you for taking the time out of your day coming down to sit and interview with us. And thank you to everyone, all of our viewers who have kind of come in, tuned in again for another iteration of our player spotlights. Keep your eyes out, head up for more of these coming. And yeah, we will continue to cover our UPL content as that rolls on. And with that being said, peace out.